What's up everyone, welcome back. This is Dan from DHTV and today we're going to be going through a PlayStation 5 tutorial with some great PS5 tips, tricks, and hidden features. And we're also going to go through some settings that you can enable or disable on the PlayStation 5 to help you get the most out of it. As always, there's a link in the description to the full PlayStation 5 playlist, so if you want to learn some more cool tips and tricks, check it out. Let's get started. Alright, so we've got the PlayStation 5 turned on here, and we're going to start off by going over some of the settings within the UI here. So if we open up settings here, this is where everything that you need to connect and configure is pretty much set up for the most part. The first thing we're going to take a look at here is your storage. Anytime you're playing and you want to remove anything, any games, you can take a look at how much storage you have left on the system. Now, if you did purchase the launch version of the PlayStation 5, that's what we're looking at right here. So it should look very similar. I only have one game pretty much installed here. If I click on it, you can see the game. This is where you can go. You'll see all the games that you have listed. You can just check the box beside them and you'll be able to delete them and free up that allotted amount of space. And it is important to do this as you finish up older games and things like that, as long as you don't want to keep that data on the system. Also your media gallery, so if you save screenshots or any kinds of videos or anything like that, you can come into the media gallery here. You'll be able to see a list. You'll also be able to scroll through the different options you have there. So if I just select it by clicking on it, this is the option. I was doing a video. This is the photo. It kind of looks like the UI of the PlayStation, but it's not. It's actually a picture, and you'll see at the bottom left, I have some options, so I can actually click on it and then delete it. And now I've saved some space as well. So just make sure you know that the console storage folder here is available, and you also have extended storage. If you do want to add an external storage drive, you can connect a USB drive. Obviously, there's a process to set it up, but you can look that up specifically. If you want me to create a video, let me know in the comments. Next down here we have sound. This is where you can control all of your sound related options. So the PlayStation 5 controller and where the volume is going to come from, as well as your headset and microphone. So let's just start from microphone here. The input device is the controller. So when you're playing a game, it's actually using the microphone built into the controller rather than your headset controller. So if you do have a set of wireless headphones plugged in, you can switch to use the headphones as long as they have a microphone on them, like these little earphones from Apple. The level, so you can modify the level of the microphone. You can see it's grabbing that from my talking right now on the actual controller. You can change the level just by clicking on the bottom here and then using the D-pad to go left or right. By default, it's set to the 50% mark, which is usually pretty good, but if you are having issues, you can switch that over. Microphone status when logged in. By default, the microphone is on. So if you didn't know, you're playing games and the microphone is turned on. That means that everybody's listening and can hear you if they have headsets or if they're able to hear it through their TV. So if you want it to default to being mute, that's what you want to do. You want to set it to mute here in the settings first. That way you're not accidentally speaking and other people are listening. So I'm going to set mine to that as well. Microphone status when starting chat or broadcast. So it says don't change. You can have it switch to mute. So totally up to you how you want to set that one up as well. Now the audio output device, so this is where the audio is coming from. Right now it's set to my TV, my HDMI device here. You can switch it to other devices as well. If you have something plugged in wired, I believe you can connect it. Bluetooth stuff doesn't seem to be working just yet, if that's even going to be brought out, but you'll be able to select from any output devices that you have connected to the PlayStation 5. You can also switch output device automatically. So right now, if I plugged up a set of headphones to my controller, you'll see the output device right here will switch automatically to controller headset. If you turn this off and it's set to my TV, if I plug in my headphones here, you'll notice that option is not going to change. So this is actually pretty good because this way you don't have to go through a step setting which device the output should be. So I leave this on. HDMI device type, so pretty much where you're plugged into. If you have a sound bar, you can connect up to that, an AV amplifier and so on, but we're just using the TV for this example. All right, and if you do choose those, for example, an AV amplifier, you have options here. Same thing if you go to the sound bar, you'll be able to configure any options that may appear on that setting. So we're going to leave it on TV. Most people use the TV or headsets, I'm assuming. I use the headsets most of the time. We'll scroll down to some general. Home screen music, it's set to on by default. If you're annoyed or don't like it, you can turn it off. The sound effects, you can turn those off as well. Audio format, priority, linear, PCM. We're not even going to get into this, but you can configure all of your audio output settings here, and then your volume. So your headphones, when they're plugged in, if your headphones don't have audio options or audio rockers on them, you can just set these right here, click on headphones, and then again you can modify the audio there. Controller speaker as well. I'm going to unplug the headphones here. You can control how loud the speaker is on the controller. When it makes sounds, again, click on it, just move it around, really easy. Screen and video, this usually sets up by default based on the device you're connected to, but you can actually modify the resolution of your screen. So if you click on the resolution, right now it's set to automatic. This specific monitor, which everybody asks me about, so the link to that is in the description. It's a Samsung curved monitor. So if there's a reason why you want to, bring it down to say 1080 or even 720, you could do so as well. 4K transfer rate, it's set to automatic. You can set these if you'd like. Now HDR, right now it's set to off. This monitor doesn't have these capabilities to utilize HDR, but my TV downstairs does. You do have options to choose automatic or off. I believe it'll be on automatic if you do have HDR abilities, but this is going to give you that dynamic range for video for certain applications. You can play around with it as well. Adjust HDR, I don't have the options here, but that'll give you some configurations there with the HDR settings as well. Deep color output. This again is going to be using the HDR. If you don't have it on automatic, you won't be able to configure it. So a lot of these settings, if your TV isn't available, it's not even going to give you the ability to use it, but you can configure these, the screen, the display area. Again, you're prompted at the setup process to go through this anyway. The dim the screen while inactive, you can set that to 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or don't dim. It's good to have this on, especially with the screen burn-in and to save some energy as well. Now accessories, I talked about this in a previous video, but if you want to connect Bluetooth accessories, this is where you're going to go. So you click on the Bluetooth accessories. You'll see the registers accessories you have here, but if you have like a PlayStation camera or some other type of Bluetooth device that you want to connect, this is where you would do it. If you want to connect wireless headphones, unfortunately it's not supported at the moment. I'll link you to a video in the description where I did show you what happens if you try. It's just not supported at the moment. And actually the screenshot we looked at earlier, that was the screenshot of what it says. So you kind of get an idea here. You can turn off specific accessories as well. So if you don't want them to be on, you can turn them off from here. You can turn Bluetooth off completely. And these are the instructions on how to do so. We're just going to go back because I don't want to turn that off right now. Controllers, we have options here to configure the whole controller so it's really custom and how it feels in your hand. Controller, so the volume speaker for the controller, kind of talked about that in another section here, but you can turn that on or off right here. The vibration intensity, it's set to strong by default. You do have options to make it weaker or the medium. Strong is fine, and you can just tell how it feels while you're playing games, and you can modify it and see if you like it better with less intensity. Trigger effects intensity, when you're using the microphone on your controller, the intensity is set to weak. So if you use a headset or mute the microphone, the intensity selected here will be applied. Pretty standard, strong, medium, weak as well. So you can play around with that. The brightness of the control indicator, so around the actual control, it's not going to be clear because I've got it focused on the TV here, but you can set that to bright or medium or dim. It's totally up to you. Obviously, if you want to save or get a little bit more battery life out of it, dim would be the best way to do so. Communication, use Bluetooth. You can also choose to use a USB cable. So I leave it on Bluetooth, but it still works with the USB cable in that setting as well. Media remote, if you have that, this is where you're going to set that up. So keyboard and mouse settings, I'm not going to get into those. I might do separate videos for that. And then the PlayStation camera as well. You can do your adjustments here, but these are the configurations you have in accessories. Notifications, always good to configure these because you don't want things popping up while you're playing games. And right here you can see allow pop-up notifications. So as you're playing, you'll get these little pop-ups. They look like that one. And you can turn them off or on. You can see that they're set to on by default. You can show the preview. You can turn that off as well. So you can see right here how it'll look. Now it's just going to say new message. So as you go down this list, just configure all of these, how you want it to look and what you want to be enabled. I'm not going to get into it there too much. Captures and broadcasts. So this button right here on the left, which used to be the share button, is your capture button now, or create button. and it's going to allow you to create shortcuts here so that you can do different things, mapping, pressing once, what it's going to do, pressing and holding. And if you change the options here, easy video clips, it's going to change what they actually do. I just leave it on standard. Length of recent gameplay video clip, 30 seconds, 3 minutes. You can change that up depending on how you want to use the create options. The screen format, file type is going to be JPG, but you can configure it to PNG for whatever reason. I don't know why you would want to change it. Moving back, we have the video clip format. File type is most efficient. You can set it to most compatible, which will turn it into MP4. So if you're planning on editing various video types and it's not working in the most efficient, the compatible is the way to go. You can include your mic's audio in the video as well. So if you're just starting out with gameplays and things like that for YouTube or Twitch or something like that, and you want to create your videos, you can include your mic's audio here, set this to say the most compatible. It'll be a lot easier for you to edit your footage. You're not going to have a separate system controlling your microphone. Include the party audio, so if you're connected with some other players as well, and you can get it all in there. If you have the PlayStation camera as well, you can really do it all from this PlayStation right here. Broadcasts, the quality, this is where it's set to right now. You can set it to 60 FPS or lower, whatever you want to do. The audio right here is including the voice chat audio. Right now it's not. You can add that in, and it's going to include the audio from all the players. So that way, if you are broadcasting this on Twitch or something like that, you can configure this. Configure the camera as well. So to display the camera, all of these options, not going to get into this. You can play with these yourself. The overlays, so you can display the chat for your broadcast so that everybody can see the chat as well. You can turn it off, turn it on. Display the activity, where it's going to be, so the position, you have options to choose where it is. So you can do a lot more with the broadcasting and the capturing here and get a little bit more customization. Obviously, when you get better in the streaming scene, probably not going to use the PlayStation itself. You'll use other options. Chat to speech, convert broadcast chat to speech. This speaks aloud the chat for your viewers. To be honest, I'm not even really sure why you would use that. And then trophies here, so you can play around with your trophy information. Not very important, at least for me right here. Okay, so let's go back up here and we'll go back to our main screen. At any time, you can access quick settings just by pressing the PlayStation button once. You'll see they appear at the bottom. You have home, you have switcher, so this is going to allow you to switch between different apps or games. You can see I only have Assassin's Creed here. I'm still waiting for my actual PlayStation 5 games. For whatever reason, the PlayStation showed up and the games were delayed. But anyway, notifications, you can open that up, see what your notifications are. You can see the ones I have here. You can also set the do not disturb, which is going to mute all pop-ups. So if for whatever reason you just want to, play on your own, don't get disturbed by all your contacts, you can turn that on for now and then turn it off when you are a little bit more available. Game base, if we open that up, you can press square to create a party. This is where you're going to control all of that. Music here, Spotify account that's linked. You can set it up here as well. You have all the music availability here. Sound, these are quick sound options here. So your output, your controller speakers, media volume, music, video, and so on. You can click on each one and configure them. The mic, so if you want to control the microphone, right now it's set to the wireless controller, but like I showed you earlier in the main settings, you can click on it and then choose the headsets or wherever else it's going to. You can mute the mic, adjust the mic level, and so on there as well. Accessories, this is going to give you a quick access to accessories that are connected. We've got the controller, that's all right now. And then we've got our profile here, so if we click on it, just going to give you a quick look at your profile, trophies, things like that as well. You can scroll up and down, click on them to see a little bit more. And then you've got your power options here. This is pretty good because when you click on it, you can enter the PlayStation into rest mode, which is always a great feature because then when you turn it back on, it's going to turn on pretty quick rather than going through the whole home screen and then opening your game and all of that. So you can actually just enter the PlayStation into rest mode while you have a game open. It'll open it up really quick. Turn off the PlayStation, restart the PlayStation, pretty simple stuff. Now you can customize these a little bit. Just press on the customize button on the PlayStation controller. That's the 3 lines there. You can disable some of these options here. So if you don't want them to appear in the quick settings, you can also enable some. So if you broadcast a lot, you can just check the box there, enable that. If you say don't really use the game base a lot, you can disable that. And then when you click circle, now you've got the new customized little bar at the bottom. We've got broadcast. If we click on it, and we're playing a game, it'll give you the broadcast options. We're not in a game at the moment, so it's not really going to show us there. I am going to open up a game though, just to show you a couple more settings. I do apologize if you hear the PlayStation running. Whenever I have a game, disc game in the PlayStation, it's super loud like this. So let me know in the comments, does your PlayStation do that if you have a disc in it? Like, it's just extremely loud. But while you're in a game, you can press on the PlayStation button at any time and it'll bring up some of your trophies. You also have the quick settings appearing at the bottom. So like I said, you can turn off your PlayStation, enter it into rest mode and things like that. You can also hold on the PlayStation button and it'll take you back to your home screen where you can access your different options, settings, all of your media stuff here as well. Now if we just quickly hop back into the game here and we take a look at the control itself, you have the two buttons here. The create is on the left, your options button. If we press the share or create button here, you can see at the bottom of the screen we have some options. So recent gameplay, take a screenshot, and start a new recording. So we'll just take a screenshot here and you'll see at the bottom left you get a quick preview of it. You can actually broadcast. So if you do have your account set up with Twitch here, if we click on broadcast, go through the privacy, you can link it to Twitch and YouTube, and if they're linked, you'll be able to just start a broadcast with your gameplay. In the capture options here, you can then go through some of the settings that we looked at earlier as well. So you can set that up first, broadcast. You can start a recording. Now when you start a recording, it just begins recording the screen. You can see up top we have a record button. In order for you to stop the recording, you're going to press that create button again, and you have a stop recording option appears at the bottom. You can press X, it'll stop the recording, and you can click on it on the left side, and when you do, you can see a little recently created window here. It's actually going to go through and show you what you just recorded. You can modify it here if you click this little paint option, where you can do little modifications like that and click done. You can also add it to your favorites. You can trash it here or even share it if you have things connected as well. You can go straight to your media gallery. If you click on R1, because we saved the screenshot earlier, that one we have there as well. So let's say we wanted to delete the screenshot. We can click OK. And we can go to our media gallery straight from here, which is going to pull us out of the game here. And that's the media gallery I showed you earlier. This is where you can modify and manage all of your screenshots, videos, and things like that. So if we just go back to our game here, we'll hit the share button or create button again. The last option here is save recent gameplay. If we click on it, it's going to save a short clip or save the full 2 minutes and 44 seconds that we've been playing. So it's actually always recording in the background. So if something really cool happened in what you were playing, you can always do this and just click save to the full video, and there it is right there. If you click on it and choose to save a short clip here, you get the last 30 seconds, last 15 seconds. So there's a lot that you can do with this, and then you can create a whole YouTube channel or a whole Twitch account, and really you could use the PlayStation 5 as your main source. I mean, as you get bigger, like I said earlier, you probably want to advance yourself a little more, but that is a couple of features within the game. We'll exit the game really quick here. Let's say we wanted to send a message or search for something. But anytime you see this little keyboard right here, you can use the controller, either the D-pad here or the analog stick to move around, but you can also use the touchpad. So you can actually use your finger on the touchpad and click on the letters or words that you want to type in. Obviously it's harder for me while I'm trying to do this on camera, but it works as well. You also have a dictation button there. So if I press X, you're going to have to go through the policy, just say yes if you want to use it. Now it's listening to me. Hello, hello, hello. You can see the preview at the bottom. Click done when you're ready, and it pretty much records everything you say. So that's a cool feature as well. Moving back to our home screen here. If we go to our profile at the top right, and we click on profile, you can see everything to do with your profile, which is normal. But what's really cool is if you go into the game section here, you can actually see now how many hours you've played each game. So I've been playing this Assassin's Creed back on the PS4 for 138 hours, 63 hours of NHL. Call of Duty 143 hours, 242 hours of NHL 20. So you can tell that my life has not been wasted at all here by looking at these statistics here. But it's pretty cool. You can see that at least from the hour, not by the minute. But it's pretty cool, and you can see the last time you played it, 16 minutes ago, 19 hours ago, wow, 99 days ago. It's crazy. Pretty cool that you have those. You can see the progress that you've earned on the right side as well. And then over here, you can edit your profile, privacy settings. I strongly recommend you go through the privacy settings. Pretty important stuff, and they keep changing. Usually they notify you, but just in case, go through them again. And then your online status. So if you want to sort of play and you don't want anyone to know you're online, you can set it to appear offline. I'm 99% of the time appear offline when I play with this account, but you can set it to busy or online as well. If you're online, then they'll know you're online. People may message you and things like that. So totally up to you. But that's a brief PlayStation 5 tutorial, some PS5 tips and tricks that you can use and hopefully will use to help you get the most out of your new PlayStation 5. As always, there's a link in the description to all of the PlayStation 5 videos with some cool tutorials like remote play and the controller and things like that. So if you're interested in learning more about the PlayStation 5, definitely check that link out. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell notification box to be notified when I post new videos. And if you want to help support the channel, I have a Patreon campaign. You can do so. There's a link in the description for that as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.